Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Everyday Excellence. I'm your host, Todd Baldwin, and today we have Matt Lowry, the owner of Lowry Fence. Matt, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Appreciate you having me on.
You bet. Thanks for hopping on, man. It's 5:30, it's the end of our day. I think this is the last call for both of us, right?
That's it. And you rescheduled for me, so I appreciate you. Yeah.
Hey, no problem, man. I'm glad you could find time to hop on. So, Matt, tell me a little bit about Lowry Fencing. How many years you been in business, and what areas do you serve?
So we've been in business for 5 years. We're in Texas. We're in Collin County and Grayson County in Texas. And we primarily do fence for residential homeowners, your backyard fence. And we also do all kinds of outdoor living like pergolas, patio covers. We do concrete, hardscape, everything like that. We actually recently just changed the name from fencing to fence and patio
Oh,
because
okay, cool.
we were getting so many requests for outdoor living stuff, and we just figured we would just go ahead and dive into it full force and just own it. So we just changed the name, and yeah, here we are.
A little bit of rebranding, huh?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I
So the
did
patios.
DBA.
Do what? The DBA? Oh, you changed the DBA too?
Yeah, changed the DBA, and doing everything online, your NAP, right? Your name, address, phone
Yeah.
number, had to update all those citations, so that was fun.
Look at you throwing out NAP, man.
Yeah, man.
9.9 out of 10 business owners have no idea if I say NAP what
Yeah,
that is. So
yeah, man.
for those
Yeah,
that don't know, it's your name, address, and phone number. That is known as a citation, and you want to make sure those citations are the exact same throughout the internet. So all those directories being Google, Bing, Yelp, you name it, you want to make sure those citations are correct. So yeah, that's make sure your agency, we were talking about that. Sounds like you're in good hands. Make sure they get that knocked out for you, right?
yeah.
Um,
Well, I've been to the YouTube University. You know what I mean?
okay, there you go. There you
I
go.
know just enough to ask the right questions, I guess.
So I'm curious, the patio side, is that new in like 2025, 2026, or
Yeah, it was new in 2025. We did about 15% of our revenue came from outdoor living, patio covers, covered structures, just general outdoor living that was not fenced. We did about 15% of our revenue came from that, and we're looking to do 30% this year, and we're well on our way. It's March 26th today, so we're right in kind of peak season. So we're seeing a huge increase in outdoor living stuff. So we had to do a lot of back end, SEO work, you name it, rebranding everywhere, and we're getting some traction. Not as fast as I would like, but progress is sometimes pretty slow in that if you're trying to completely offer all new products. But
oh,
we are getting some traction going.
that's good. That's good. Yeah. I mean, it just yeah, Rome wasn't built in a day is what I like to say, right? So keep
Yeah.
keep hammering away, and eventually that should all come together for you. I'm curious, Matt. When you look at Lowry Fencing, what do you guys do better than most other fence and patio outdoor living companies? Would you say?
So we do a couple things. Specifically with fence, we sink our post 4 feet into the ground. Kind of commonplace to do 2 foot, maybe 3 foot. We sink our post 4 feet into the ground. Our gates, specifically on wood fence gates, like a privacy fence, we build the frame out of steel, and the hinges are connected to the steel post, and the latch is also connected to the other steel post. So you've got 100% steel to steel connection. We have a lifetime warranty on all of our work, so we don't care if it's 5, 6, 10, 15 years down the road. If something was not done to standard, we don't care. We come out, no BS, we fix it. We've got the reviews to back it online. We constantly kind of break ourselves, and honestly, sometimes we do a little bit get taken advantage of in that respect. But we feel that the total good is better than the negative there. I think we're creating much more goodwill and trust in the community by offering that than we are on the few that take advantage of us. So, and I mean, if you look online, we have almost nothing but 5-star reviews. I think we got 440 something in Sherman. I think We're up to 120 something in Plano that we opened last year. I think combined we're over like 650 uh, reviews online, and we have a 5.0 rating. So we do whatever it takes to take care of the customer. I think we really just try to see everything through the customer lens. And
Yeah, no, I like that. It's one of our three core values, right? We call it best customer service on the planet.
there you go.
Yeah, I mean, we want to make sure we take care of that customer and that customer experience because while we do digital marketing, campaigns can go up and down, right? And we might take a dip, but we still show up for the status call. We hit it heads on and head on, and I think customers really appreciate that in our world. And they're willing to give us time to fix things, right? Because they know we're transparent and hey, you know what, we're going to take care of you.
Something else
Now
I
go
didn't
ahead.
mention is communication. Usually, like to your point, it made me think of it. Usually in construction, we have a tendency, I say we as a whole in the construction community have a tendency or propensity not to communicate enough with the customer, letting the customer know what's happening, when it's happening, why it's happening. And when stuff invariably goes wrong, communicate even more. Because typically, man, people are very understanding as long as you communicate with them. Like if you take any home service, you name it, any home service at all, and you go look at their bad reviews, there's usually a trend of they didn't communicate. Like people are pretty reasonable, man. They understand stuff goes wrong, but as long as you communicate with them and walk through the process and get it handled correctly, people are generally pretty understanding and they appreciate the transparency and the constant communication. So that being said, we really pride ourselves on the communication aspect from the beginning of the estimate through production, through post production. We just stay on top of the customer. There's never any doubt as to what's happening, when it's happening, and when problems, as I said, happen. We just we stay very connected with the customer and give them a reasonable expectation of what's happening and when it's going to get fixed. You know,
Yeah, no, I love all of that because communication's key, especially in the home service business, but with any business. I also like when you said if there is an issue, you fix it, no questions asked. We're going to make it right. I learned that years ago. It makes me think of like in my early days before I was a business owner, I was a sales manager, and if we had an issue with the customer, this goes back to Yellow Page days, so I'm going to date myself, but director would come out and they would say, "Hey, my ad's wrong," and we'd pull the proof of the ad. It's signed. It's exactly what they signed. But I would just fix the solution. I would just fix it. I'd say, "You're going to see this book everywhere. So what do we got to do to make you happy?" Well,
that's right.
I want a 25% discount or whatever. Okay, done. And they'd be like, "Really? Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
we're done." Well, and I'd put it in writing, send it to them, and
I love it.
customer's happy again. So
I love it. Yeah,
anyway, just a quick story there, but I love that because if you take care of them, they'll take care of you, right? And reviews are crucial. Awesome job on the review generation. That's something we're always hammering to our clients. You got to get reviews, and all you got to do is have a process and ask, or we have tools that we'll share with them they can use as well. So, um, clients happy, ask for a review, and you'll get a handful of them on a regular basis.
yep,
I want to step back and I want to look back. So 5 years in business, right?
yep.
So tell our listeners how you guys started. How did your entrepreneurial journey start? What were you doing beforehand? And then what made you decide, hey, I'm going to jump off the entrepreneurial cliff and go for it, start my own company?
Yeah, man. So I went to UNT, University of North Texas in Denton, Texas. While I was there, I had a job at an apartment complex. I was the porter. I would pick up trash and like handle other various, bottom of the rung duties. It was just supposed to be a college job, pay for beer money and book money. So I did that for a while. I got promoted to make ready, which is where you make apartments ready to rent. So like
Okay.
if this oven's broken, I would replace the element before they moved in, that kind of thing. And then I got promoted again to assistant maintenance, and then I got promoted again to lead maintenance, and then I was on call uh, basically 24/7, fixing air conditioner units on top of the roof, fixing water heaters that were leaking in the middle of the night, on and on and on. And the what was supposed to be just a kind of a part-time job kind of took over, and I took a semester off of school and never went back. So I've got like 135 cumulative hours, and no bachelor's degree. I have an associate's degree, but I never finished college, long story short. But
Okay.
anyway, so I did the apartment maintenance thing for like 10 years at various apartment complexes, and I got really tired of being on call because kind of at that point in my life, I kind of like to go out and play pool and, have fun, but
Yeah.
I wasn't able to do that, man, because I was tied to the on-call phone. So I was complaining to my friend one night that I was really sick and tired of being on call and getting these water heater leaks on the fourth floor at 3 a.m.
Oh,
Or
yeah.
the compressor, your air compressor goes out, not air compressor, the AC compressor goes out. It's 105 degrees. It's on the roof. It's Sunday, 1 p.m. No one's working but me. So I've got to go get the compressor. I've got to get a ladder and a rope and pull the thing up there. And I'm on the roof and it's just
Wow.
not good. And then you're up there, you're brazing in the new copper. You're having to pump the new Freon into the system. You have to braze it in, vac it down, charge the system, all while you're on the roof, and it's like 115 on the roof. You know what I mean? So anyway, just painting a picture of like didn't like it, and so I was complaining to my friend one day that I was tired of it. He worked for a commercial fence company that mainly did like baseball fields and just big commercial fence jobs. And I was just complaining to him one night, and then like 2 days later, he called me and he said that one of his helpers didn't show up that day, and he's like, "Look, man, it's a long shot. It doesn't pay that great, but I know you're complaining about your work, and I could really use somebody tomorrow if you wanted to come help me out." So, I called into work and I told him I hurt my back. I lied. And and then I went to go help him install a chain link fence around a baseball field, like
Yeah.
for probably about half as I wasn't half as little. It was almost half as much as I was making a day at my regular gig. But I loved it, man. I was outside. I was building the fence. It was low stress. Uh, it was, I don't know, it was just different. I just liked it. So I quit my other job, took a huge pay cut, and went and worked for this company. And I felt like if I proved myself there, that I could rise in the ranks there and make good money long term.
Sure.
So, I worked at that company for like, almost 4 years, and the owner kept promising me that he initially promised me that if I bought my own truck and I bought my own tools, that he would start subbing me work and I would make more, but he ultimately never did that, and I was kinda stuck at the same amount of money. Even though I bought a truck and I bought my own tools, I was running my own crew. He was paying the helpers that I had, obviously, instead of me because I was still an employee, but, I was, for all intents and purposes, ready to sub my own work. He just didn't wanna let me go, I think. He didn't wanna just give me full rein, and,
Sure.
kept me as an employee. And so, I was collecting checks on jobs. I was, running the crew. I just felt like if I got enough leads, that I could do this on my own.
Sure.
So I looked up how to do that. And at the time, I didn't really know anything about lead generation, but I looked up Angie's List at the time. Or no, it was Home Advisor at the time.
Yeah.
So I did Home Advisor. And man, Home Advisor gets a lot of grief for a lot of different reasons, but honestly, man, like a lead's a lead. Like if you can't close it, that's on you. So yes, you're paying for leads, and some people want to give them a hard time about how much they cost, and not all leads are great, but that's just kind of the nature of the business. They can only bring you what that customer types in, you know.
Sure.
So anyway, I ran Home Advisor leads, man, for like a couple months, and I was making on the weekend, I was making what I would make in a month working at the job.
Yeah.
So
Doing your own gig. So,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, so I was like, "My god, if I can keep this lead generation thing up, I got this," you know? So,
Yeah.
that kinda started my journey down, publishing a GBP, getting reviews like we were talking about,
Yeah.
and then just kinda snowballed from there. I got enough leads to where I was on the truck, on the tools, building fence, so I was taking measures, taking estimates in the morning. Then I'd run to the job. I'd build the fence that I was on. Then I would run more measures and estimates at night, and then repeat. And then eventually, I got I got enough good guys on the crew that I was like leading at the time, right? I got enough good guys on there that I could leave that crew alone, and they were able to build on their own. And then I was just full-time salesman and ops guy and answer the phone guy in the office, you know. And so
Sure.
I did that for like 6 months probably, and then I'm like, all right, I got to get a phone person. So then I got a phone person, then I got an ops person, and then I got another crew, and then I got another crew, and then I got a sales guy, and that's kind of where we're at now. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Did you So when you started Home Advisor, were you just doing testing that kind of on the weekends and doing your own gig while you were still with the other guy or the other
Yeah,
company?
so I was still working full time for him. Yeah, I was
Okay.
just running my own. I would go work nights. As soon as I was done there working at 5, I would go jam out some fence until like 10 p.m., you know, until I couldn't see what I was doing out there anymore in the summer, and then
Yeah.
sleep, and then go to work and work my, 8-hour shift, and then go work, another 8 hours working at
It's
night and on the weekends. Yeah.
yeah, the joys of starting a business, right? Everybody's
Yeah.
it looks all glamorous online, but the reality is what you just talked about right there. So I'm curious, Home Advisor, do you still use them today?
No, we don't use them today. The price per conversion is a lot higher than PPC or LSA would be. Also, we don't have access to their filtering or their ad account, right? So you're kind of at the mercy of their ad efficacy. So
Yeah.
the cost per conversion for us now is or the cost per conversion rather is just way less expensive for your own paid
Yeah.
PPC. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I love that you gave kudos to Home Advisor. A lot of people do rag on them. I think they're great for new business
Man,
owners, and
it's
like
a
you said, a
no-brainer.
lead's a lead.
Yeah, it's the way. Also, too, like being new, you're kind of struggling to figure out the in-home sale or the just
Yeah,
being in person selling a fence. Like for me, at least, I'm not like a born salesman or like a born business guy. Like I just like building fence. So like every
yeah,
new task that was given to me was kind of difficult. So like the more practice, the better. So Home
yeah,
Advisor, if anything, will put you in front of a client to practice your craft immediately. Even if you don't close the job, it's still a win because you gained the knowledge of like where you screwed up there, you
yeah.
know?
Practice makes perfect.
Yeah, man.
Let's talk a little bit about your culture and your team. Right? How important is culture to your success? Your
I mean,
company culture, that is.
yeah, yeah. No, culture's everything, man. So I take real good care of my guys. They took real good care of me. Uh, Culture's everything. A company is just a group of people, right? There's no such thing as
Right.
a business. It's just a group of men and women making it happen. So the tighter the cohesion and the tighter the cohesion, the better the efficacy of your group is going to be. Period. So culture is absolutely everything. If your guys don't love working for the place, you're just not going to get the optimum result out of them. You know.
Sure, sure. What does your culture look? Or your team culture look like day to day? Like, if you just give us an idea.
So we're kind of spread out. You mean like day to day, like a life in the day of each of us or something?
Yeah, just curious. I mean, do you have any? I know you're spread out. So, example for us. So, we're pretty much all remote. I work out of an office because I don't like working from home. But we do some interaction, some daily huddles throughout the week and so forth to try and get together. I've got a leadership team call that we do every week with the leadership team. So I'm just curious. It's kind of a hard. I was like reading that question. It's kind of a tricky question because what does it look like day to day? So I mean, how much are you interacting? Just
We're
just try to get a feel.
Yeah, I mean, we're constantly on the phone, connected on the phone kind of deal, but we don't do a
Yeah.
lot of group huddles. We could improve in that aspect. It's just we're kind of spread out too. So everyone comes from their house and knocks out the gig at,
Okay.
on their own schedule kind of deal. So we don't have a like a Monday morning meeting kind of deal or
Sure.
like that. I mean, we get together and we go to like Top Golf and hang out sometimes.
Yeah.
My leadership team, we all meet on Friday mornings. We meet at a restaurant and
Okay.
we have a Friday morning meeting. We have a standing Friday morning meeting every week at a
Okay.
restaurant, and we kind of go over KPIs. what went
Sure.
right on the job, what went wrong on the job, et cetera, or just whatever kind of task we need to knock out for that meeting. Um, but yeah, the company as a whole, we don't get all of us together that often because we are so spread out, you know?
Yeah, that's one of our struggles too, is that I get people that work in different states too, right? Around the country. And then I've got a great team overseas too that I found and we don't shy away from that, right? I mean, when we talk to clients or if they ask, because some people think, well, if you have a team overseas, like they're getting less quality. I have found they're great people, just like Americans, and you just got to find the right ones, just like Americans when you're hiring people. You find the right
Yeah.
ones that are golden, and obviously one of the benefits is that it is a lower wage, right? And so you get some great talent, and definitely save some money there. So for in our world, that works great. Obviously, that wouldn't work great for you because you need them here to build the fence and be a part of the operation, right?
Well, I
So
mean, I don't know, man. A lot of that stuff, to your point, is computer tasks. Like I say all the
yeah,
time, we don't have a contracting business. We've got an internet business.
yeah,
So without being pretty good on the internet, you're not gonna have a lot going on. So like I actually, like to your point, I actually just interviewed someone from Malaysia, and she was awesome.
yeah,
Her name's May. I did, one of my friends,
yeah,
one of my buddies up in Illinois, he uses VA from Malaysia.
yeah.
He or I'm sorry, not Malaysia, the Philippines. Said that wrong. The
Go,
Philippines.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
anyway, he loves them, and he was telling me I should check them out. So his VA knew a friend of hers that I interviewed with, and she kind of blew me away, man. She was super capable. I just never even considered that before. I guess because like some people think like, oh, that's lower quality, or I don't know, you're outsourcing it or whatever. But like, I don't know, it kind of
oh,
makes sense.
VAs can be awesome
Yeah,
overseas, and yeah, and when I was studying that, obviously you need manpower to build a fence, but there's other tasks within the your company that you could totally use some overseas resources, right?
yeah.
And save some money and get great work. They're happy to have the work, and if you can pay them more than average wage, they're super happy. You know, create some bonus incentives for them, and they'll work their tail off, and they're super responsive. So I have a lady over in the Philippines. I've got a team over in Bangladesh, and then I've got a couple of guys over in Finland. And so, but yeah, it's worked well. They work American hours. They do a lot of heavy lifting for us with some
Did
of our
you
digital stuff for
did you
sure.
find those guys direct, or did you get it through an agency?
I got lucky because my right hand guy, who's one of my a partner of mine, he had worked with our head guy, and so guy named Mafus, and he was in Bangladesh. He moved his family to Finland, and so he kind of heads our recruitment over there when we need people. So I got lucky there. My lady in the Philippines, I was working with a lead gen company, learning how to fish in some ponds with some different lead gen for us generating leads. And so we found her through them, and she's been great. But she's got a network too. If I need to tap into more, she said definitely got some people she'd recommend to us.
Oh,
So yeah, there's different resources you can go about to try to find some of that some help over there. There's good people over in Egypt too. I was just talking to a friend of mine, and he's in the real estate investment space, but he has a big part of his operation is from people over in Egypt cranking away.
wow. Okay,
I might be
cool.
able to help you point some if you're interested. Off when we get offline, follow up. I might be able to send you some um couple of contacts if you're looking for people overseas.
I love it. Yeah, I'm into it, man. Also, I love that they have a network, right? Like birds of a feather kind of
Yeah.
deal, right? So if you got one
Yeah.
good
Oh
one,
yeah.
you probably
Yeah.
got friends that are good ones too. Yeah, cool.
100%. Yeah. Yeah. I'm curious, man. How do where the guys over here in the state and local, how do you find and keep good people? Or how do you attract and retain them? Attract
Uh,
and retain people in this industry?
I think it goes back to online presence.
Yeah.
All of the people that work with me, like all of them, have found me. I've never done any reach out. I've never done Indeed. I've never done. I was just looking on the computer today. We had 2 resumes submitted through the careers portal on the website. So, I think when people look for a fence company to work at,
Yeah.
they type in the same thing that a customer would type in when they're searching for a fence company to hire, right? So they'll be like best fence company near me or best outdoor living company near me. So it's funny, we
Sure.
hear the people that apply say the same thing as the customers, or our best customers at least. They do a little research, they read some reviews, they look at the website, they see our kind of work, or how we carry ourselves as a company, and they kind of come with the same like um this almost the same verbatim speech, like, "Hey, I looked you guys up online. It looks like you're doing really killer work. Your customers are super happy with you. Couldn't even find a bad review on you.
Yeah.
I would love to either hire you to build my fence, or I would love to work there." It's like the same conversation. So anyway, to answer your question, they've just found us or found me, whatever. Yeah.
Oh, that's good because people are so important. But one of my least favorite things to do is interview and go look. I can't stand Indeed because I just feel like I get crap. Not to be direct, I guess I just was, but
Yeah.
and they've changed the way they go about charging and so forth. But anyway, it's just yeah, I feel like I just get people an auto reply. They're not even reading the job description, right? And they're just auto replying. So no, I like it. I love it when people come and find us and come to us as well. You just mentioned a careers portal on your site, and I'm like, we don't have a careers portal on our site. I jotted that down.
Nice.
I'm gonna add one to our site.
Yeah, it's
Let's talk a little
actually
bit.
It's
Go ahead.
actually we use it as a tool as well. So
Yeah.
step one, I want one of our core values is self-starter. I want you to be a
Right.
self-starter. So if someone calls, if Chris that answers the phone, someone calls in, "Hey, Chris, Lowry Fence and Patio, how can I help you?" And they're like, "Hey, I'm looking for a job. I was looking you guys up online, yada yada." What he is instructed to do is direct them to the website and have them fill out the careers, or go to the careers portal rather and fill that out and submit their resume. So that's really test one. If you're not even willing to do that,
Sure.
and you're not our flavor of person. So it could have been the one I just saw come in a little bit ago. Chris told him to do that. I don't know, but it's also a tool because you want someone to at least have the the grit to just go to the website and fill out a form. But some people won't even do that. So it's a good
Sure.
way to get those tire kickers, maybe like you were talking about, on out of there. Give them their first job, and their first job is filling out that career portal.
Yeah. I have a test on my any job description if we post it. The test is at the very end of that job description. So now I know that if they've actually read it all, A, and then B, do they follow directions? Do they do what you ask them to do? It's just a simple question. It says if your long lost uncle died and left you $10,000, what would you do with the money? And you had to spend it on yourself. What would you do with the
Yeah.
money? You have to spend it on yourself. What would you do? Something like that. And that's how I know people are auto replying. And so when I get, and then also I say, fill it, submit your resume. I think there's one other question and then answer this question. And when people hit that boom, 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 I'm interested. At least it's caught my attention. If I get
Right.
a resume of nothing, they don't answer my question. I'm like,
Right.
no,
So
you're done. Like,
off the bat
you're
they're
out.
thorough or not. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
and they've gotta go through the whole, read the whole job description. It's not like it's super long, but, at least I know they're real and they're doing what we ask them to do, plus it's fun to read what they'll do. And it's just a test, that's all it is. It's like you're doing. It's just a test to see if they, follow the directions. If they can't follow directions when they're trying to do what you ask when they're trying to get a job, how are they gonna be if
Yeah.
you actually hire them, right?
We're doing
So
you a favor, go ahead and giving you a preview of what it's like to work with her. Yeah. That reminds me of
yeah,
that.
well,
There was
no
a
no personality test or anything. No,
yeah.
just, hey, right off the bat.
That
Talk
reminds
about
me
growth.
I
What have
remember
you done
doing
the last or go ahead.
I was just thinking it reminds me of something in high school. They gave you a test. It's like, number one, read all of the questions before answering any of them. And at the very end of it, it's like just sign your name at the top and turn it in. And 1 through 15 is like draw a circle around number 6. And number 2 is like it's just a bunch of
Yeah.
BS, you know what I mean? But if you
Yeah.
follow the first instruction, it was like, "No, read them all first." You
Yeah,
know?
yeah, no, 100%,
Yeah.
100%. I like it. I like it. That little quiz has worked well for us, or that little test to answer that question.
Yeah, that's cool.
Tell us about your growth. What have you done? What's worked as far as growth from year one now, 5 years down the road?
What has worked or, like, where we're at growth-wise or
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Just where you at growth wise, and then what has it? I mean, obviously, it sounds like you're marketing, and I love that you said, "Hey, we build fences, but we're an internet company." So, I guess we'll tie that into marketing. Let's talk about your leads and what marketing channels work best for you, and then what maybe are some marketing channels that you've tried that didn't work.
So we initially or I opened it in Sherman, Texas, and that's in Grayson County.
Yep,
And the population in Grayson County is not near what Collin County, is. So, I opened the first one in 2020, like midway through 2020, but I worked for another. I guess I skipped that in my story. I was a sub crew after I quit that first job and was taking my own leads. I actually worked for another company in town, and they were subbing me work, and I did that for about a year, and then I kind of started figuring out the lead generation on my own, and I eventually got so many leads on my own I didn't need to be subbed work anymore. I could just be direct to customer. So that being said, as I started figuring out the Google ladder, became number one in the GBP and the map pack, became number one in Sherman, and then kind of expand actually simultaneously almost became number one in all of the cities in Grayson County. So that was like about a 2 year probably journey to be number one everywhere. Once I got there, I kind of capped out market wise because you can't where else can you go but number one? You can obviously there's other things you can do, sure,
sure.
obviously, but as far as organic presence, number one for the top search terms that I wanted to be number one for, there was nowhere really to go. So I felt like I tapped out the market in Grayson County. So um, we, I went and opened another location in Plano, Texas. And then that's been about a year creep, and we're starting to get some ROI on that now. Actually, not starting to. We're seeing massive ROI on it. And then we've opened other locations in McKinney and Allen and Frisco, Texas, and attempting to get an organic presence down there in Collin County, with the goal of being dominant in Collin County as well. It's such a huge market, and we were not
Sure.
getting any of it without paying for it, right? So I felt like the long term goal would be organically populating down there, and the only way to do that would be open a location. So, um, yeah, that's what I
Yeah,
did.
organic leads are gold. I mean, well, all our clients say it's the best lead off of Google, right? If we're just talking strictly Google, so organic. So good job, way to recognize that, and then have a strategy, and then more importantly, stick to it. And because it's ditch digging, it never stops. You're just always working on your organic. So those Google Business Profile listings are gold as well, especially if you're in the top three. And then you can also rank, in other cities just by building out some city location pages and so forth. So there's some other strategies you can use,
Yeah,
but obviously, if you go into other cities and get a real location and actually have Google verify it in its stick and start building up that profile, then yes, that it's those are that's the most trafficked area on Google is that Google Maps, right? Especially the
yeah,
three that actually show. So nice strategy. And hey, starting in Sherman is not the biggest area, but it's also not the most competitive. And so easier to rank in smaller areas versus a Plano or Dallas. So
100%.
cut
Yeah,
your teeth.
there's a
Yeah.
lot of there's way more cross signals down in Plano. I mean, the web traffic
Yeah. Yeah.
like is like 50x what it is in Grayson County. So
Yeah. Cut
obviously
your teeth in one of those smaller areas is a good move, whether that was intentional or that's just where you're at. But yeah, I
where I was
mean,
at. Yeah,
you start well,
completely.
you see the value, like, wow, man, if I could do this in other areas, I could really get a big organic. And then obviously you're doing some paid PPC, Google
Yeah,
Ads.
Yeah, so that's another thing. We've got pay-per-click going. We're spending, I think we spent, I think it was 6% of the revenue last year on paid ads just globally.
Yep.
We run pay-per-click and we run LSA. And we've got Performance Max going. We run, pay-per-click on Bing and Google. And we've got a television commercial going. And I haven't actually got concrete ROI on that yet, but I think it's kind of a cumulative effect. You know, you saw a wrapped truck, and then you saw a fence sign, and then you saw it on a television commercial. So I think it's kind of an omnipresence vibe. You know, if you see,
Yeah.
it's like propaganda basically. You know, so like the more you
Branding.
see it, the familiarity uh
Yeah.
of it starts snowballing. So I'm just trying to do all things all at once, and as revenue increases, I'm able to expand into other avenues, and my goal is just to do as much as we can in all aspects. So
Sure.
I'm constantly trying to learn new tools and tricks. You know, I've got the trucks wrapped. We do yard signs, we do fence signs. Um, we do referral fees. That's something too that like kind of gets overlooked. It's kind of a no-brainer, but as you're in business longer, you have more and more happy customers to tell more and more people about what you're selling. So I guess that's like I know I didn't think of it, but we're seeing so many more referrals now because it's the one turns into three, turns into nine, turns into so as we complete more jobs, make more people happy, we're seeing so many more referrals. So,
Referrals are golden too,
oh,
and love that you are a believer in marketing because the way I look at it, if you got an SEO lead, paid lead, LSA lead turns into a client, you do a great job, and then that client refers you someone, and that someone refers you someone. So yes, those are referrals, but all tied back to the willingness to do marketing, right? It all started with the one lead that came in through your paid or SEO, which you're paying for, an agency, I'm assuming to do for. So
yeah.
that's a great strategy. So many business owners are afraid to spend money
Yeah.
and
Well, it's
and
like
marketing.
sometimes you can go, an indeterminate amount of time and not see ROI. But if you stick with it and you know your closing rate and you know your average job size, then it's
Yeah,
easy math. If you bring me 10 people, I know my close rate, I know my average job size. And if I can get the ROI numbers to work, then it's like, well, the more the merrier. So unless
yeah,
you're beyond capacity, which is kind of where we're at right now. Like I've had to get out back into sales myself because we've got so many leads. So I'm in that phase right now. Like, ugh, that might have been too many. You would
yeah,
think that the
yeah,
more the merrier. But if John Smith calls up and he wants an estimate for a fence, and we tell him that we're 3 weeks out to come out to even look at it, then that's a customer lost. So it's not
yeah,
always the more the better. There's a fine line there. You got to have the people to field the requests. So that's kind of where
sure.
I found myself. It's a good problem to have. It's a new problem for me, but
Yeah, yeah. No, that's always a good problem to have.
yeah.
I'm just curious, any frustrating points or pain points when it comes to marketing your business that you could share?
Um, I mean, everything's a challenge. I don't know. The the
Or
inability.
anything you spent money on that didn't work or
Yeah. Well, specifically, like I don't know. We're talking about paid ads, right? So, like specifically,
well, yeah, anything digital related or other marketing, I'm just
specifically
curious
with
if
LSA and PPC, you do not have the ability to filter LSA like you do PPC. Number
sure.
one, that's a pain. So the ROI, the cost per conversion, cost per click, all of that is way better on PPC because we can control the traffic better with negative words, a lot of things, right?
Yeah.
And Performance Max, you can track, you can identify the proper customer to go after, all kinds of things. So that's one thing I'd say between those two. And another thing with LSA is they used to have a feature in their dashboard that would let you, um, what's the word? I'm having a brain fart.
You could qualify the lead
Yeah, well,
and
you could
request the credit.
if it yeah, request a credit. Yeah, you could. Anyway, you can't do that anymore. It's all AI. So
Yeah.
I'm
Now
having to
Google's
like,
doing it.
huh?
Now Google's determining if it was a bad lead or not.
Yeah, and like, man, but they're tracking numbers switch. So like on Tuesday, Bob's Plumbing might be 903-585-6866. And
Okay.
then on Wednesday, they might switch it to, well, surprise, Lowry Fence and Patio has that number now. But the
Okay.
people that call Bob and wants to call him back on that same number are now getting Lowry Fence and Patio. So we pick up the phone, Lowry Fence and Patio, and they're like, "Oh, I thought this was Bob's Plumbing." And we're like, "No, we're a fence company." And then we hang up. Or if we have a longer conversation with them and we try to help them, if we say, "Oh, you meant to call this number," that's I don't know. If you try to give them any kind of help at all, the AI takes that as a positive lead and they charge you for it. So to answer your question, a frustration with the LSA now is the AI. If you give any kind of help to a customer that called the wrong number due to Google's goof up, you get charged for that lead. And I've gone round and round with them because it happens all the time. And they will not. There's no give. I've asked. Dealing with Google is kind of a waste of time. So
Yeah. Yeah. You don't know who you're going to get. Yeah. No, I feel your pain and we
yeah.
deal with them all the time.
Yeah, so
So,
they've asked us to, if we get a call that's not for us, we have to politely get off the phone as soon as possible. But that's not really our vibe. Like we're here to help, right? So if someone calls and
yeah.
they're trying to call a hardware store, we'll usually help them out. Like, oh, well, we have a great relationship with this hardware store. You could go here to get your stuff. But if we do that, then Google wants to charge us for that lead. So I'm having to like instruct my guy that's answering the phone to not be of any help at all, get off the phone, and then call that person back if you wanted to help them and explain to them, hey, sorry, I was so short on the phone earlier. Google charges us if we're helpful. So
Yeah. Isn't that
we're in this
crazy?
weird,
Yeah.
I don't know.
When they took the control out of the business owner to um, go into their dashboard and basically tell them this is a bad lead, you know, request a credit. When they
Yeah.
took that away, we were just shaking our head. We're like, this is not going to be a good end result because now we're trusting. You got to trust Google, and I haven't actually heard a story like that. That's interesting. I'm gonna talk to my head of my paid search. I wrote a note down, but now you're trusting Google. Nobody trusts them anyway. Everybody's already frustrated with them. So,
It
um,
does work, like, most of the time. It will rate
yeah,
leads mostly right, but if you're running a high volume of leads, man, the ones that get wrong, it gets added up quick. You see that those $500 charges from Google get more and more close together, and then you're seeing so many bad leads come in, you're like, "Well, hold on now." So,
yeah.
it is what it is, though.
Last question. Our last question on marketing are in well, I when I think of AI, I think of marketing, but AI when you hear AI or think of AI in your business, what comes to mind? What are you guys doing to try to utilize AI, if anything?
We try to focus on efficiency. So we have a lot of AI. We have a lot of AI workflows. We use it for all
Okay.
kinds of stuff. But I think it's important to focus on: does this actually make me more efficacious? Is this making me do a task quicker, or are we just using it because it's cool? So, like, for example, we've got a material checker, custom GPT material checker. So when we send off for a material quote, they send us the supplier sends us the material quote. We put and we normally have to check these things line for line. Like, we ordered 15 of that, check. We ordered 500 of these, check. You have to check them side by side. So it's a kind of a time suck. So what we did was we made a custom GPT that you don't have to give any instruction. It already knows that we're going to give it one input of what we ask for. It's a screenshot, and then we're going to give it the PDF of what the supplier sent. We give both of those to the GPT, and it it reads all of it like instantly, and it tells us if the quantities are correct and if it's good to order. Or if it's not, what is wrong, and it drafts us an email to send back to the supplier. And then we took it a step further. We went to our supplier and we installed that GPT or the custom GPT on their chat GPT, sent it to them, and went up there in person and showed them how to use the thing. It's not hard, but we showed them how to use it. That way they can double check the material orders we send them before they send us the material orders back. So just that thing has been uh, a pretty good ROI on time. So, uh,
Yeah. No, I love that. It's all about efficiencies. We obviously use it a ton as well. And but we also learned, hey, there's definitely some inaccuracies in the world of ChatGPT or other AIs, but we don't shy away from it. I think I'd mentioned when we initially talked, we see our clients getting leads from ChatGPT. We get leads from ChatGPT. So, but if anybody tells you, Matt, I will say this: if they have it all figured out, an agency or those are red flags, man. Nobody's got it figured out. I can trust me. I've talked to way too many agencies, but we're all testing. We're all scrambling. It reminds me of 15 years ago when this new thing called Google and SEO, and everybody was like, "How do I rank my site on page one?" It's so similar, and the same thing. I've told people, I tell it even today. You're talking to someone, they start promising you page one rankings in 30 days, and
Yeah.
I'm going to do this in 90 days. Run. Those are red flags because they're not being ethical because they can't promise you anything in the world of SEO because Google doesn't tell you how to rank a site, right? And so if they tell you they're going to guarantee you, they're lying to you because there is no guarantee.
Yeah.
I tell people all the time we do SEO. What we're going to do, I'll never use the word guarantee. What we're going to do is we're going to use our process that's worked really well for XYZ, and we have case studies and so forth. If we're doing paid ads, yeah, I'll guarantee you we'll have you on page one because I'm paying for the traffic.
Yeah.
100%. We're going to
That's
get
right.
you. We're going to get you up in that top three, and we're going to monitor this, and that. But yeah, no, I love it. I love that you're diving into it. We're big believers. It's not going anywhere, so you better embrace it and figure out how to make it work for your business.
Yeah.
A couple of questions, and we'll wrap up. I've kept you longer, but I've enjoyed talking to you. What are you most excited about right now in your business?
Um, Expanding into new territory.
New territory
Yeah.
growth, yeah,
Yeah.
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 Um, what, if any, podcasts are you listening to that you recommend?
Yeah. So I listened to Alex Hormozi. uh,
Yeah, I
uh,
listen to Alex a lot. He's one of
yeah.
my guys.
Yeah, man. I listen to like I'm all over the place, man. I was listening to Dave Ramsey today. I listened to another one called Roofing Success Podcast with Jim Aline.
Yep, yep.
He's super sharp, man. He owned a SEO or uh, marketing agency, however you want to say it. He owned a company and he ended up selling it to Job Nimbus, but he's uh he's a wealth of information and he has roofing owners on. I mean, very similar to this. He has roofing contractors on, kind of sharing their tips and tricks, what they like to do, and the roofing industry as a whole has it together pretty good, as does the plumbing industry.
Yeah.
I would say my industry is definitely lagging. So I like to learn from other industries what they're doing that works best. So that's a
Wh-
great
What
podcast
was
right
his
there.
name again?
Jim Aline, Ahlin.
Jim Aline.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
called Roofing Success Podcast, man. Check them out.
So, any quotes that you like, that you kind of, I don't want to say live by or like? For example, one of my favorite ones, and this actually came from my stepmom, who was like a second mom to me. But it was the truth requires no memory. So speak the truth, tell the truth, and you don't have to try to remember all your lies, right? So the truth requires no memory. I'm just curious, anything, do you have a favorite one or that you could share that comes to mind?
I do. It's kind of long. It's kind of long, but
Okay, look for it.
so it's it's a quote called the title of it is called "I am learning." So
Okay.
the whole quote is I am learning that success is a matter of habitual concentration upon higher ideas. I am what I set out to be. The things I read and talk about today and the thoughts I think today are a forecast of what I shall become. I have learned that I am a composite of the things I have said, the thoughts I have nurtured, the company I have kept, and the habits I have pursued. I am learning that success lies within myself and my brain, my ambition, and my determination, and that difficulties and hard experience are not to be dodged, but to be met with courage, that they may be turned into future capital.
Last question, Matt. There's some young Matt Lowry out there that's, hey, I'm going to start my own business, and maybe it's a fence business, maybe it's a different type of home service business. But what advice would you give to them that's ready, someone ready to start their entrepreneurial journey?
Be grateful for the problems and riddles that you need to solve every day. The more problems and riddles you have, just are an indication that you're going down the right path. And Also, when things get hard, that's good. Tell yourself good because this is when the weaker guy quits. This is when the competition quits. So, when things go awry and you're challenged, be grateful for the opportunity because those problems wouldn't even be presented to you had you not been in that arena to begin with. And
I love
probably
it.
the last thing is see everything through the customer's eyes. It's all about the customer's experience, and that's it. It's real simple. So just it's kind of like the golden rule, but for the customer, just see everything through the customer's eyes. Communicate with them. Communication is number one.
I love it, man. That is a great, great place to end our conversation. It's been fun chatting with you, Matt. I love your energy, man. And great job on your success, man. 5 years in, and it seems like you've got so much good energy going, processes. I love that you've got so many leads that you had to go back into the field. So
Yeah.
good job on your agency. I think you used two different ones you told me for the organic side and the paid side. So
Yeah.
it sounds like they're doing a good job for you. So I'm always one to say, hey, look, if it's working, especially in the digital world, stick with it. If for some reason it goes sideways, I'd love to talk to you.
Yeah.
Right. So, but congratulations on your success, man. Seriously.
Cool, brother. Appreciate you having me on, man.
Yeah. Yeah. I've enjoyed it. Let's definitely keep connected.
Cool.
Thanks, Matt.
Yep.